who cares, right? No, this is not good. Is this good? Can you see, or is it very unclear? I guess I'm gonna wait a little bit for you guys to come in and make it so we can all have it very informative. I will wait a little bit. Thank you for coming, guys. I guess I have to clean my lens, because I want to make sure that everything is visible enough for us to see what I have and what's been sent to me by some of you. And it's been quite a lot, and some of it I have not had a chance to look at yet and examine properly, including power lines. The power lines, and they are easy to travel by ATV. Unfortunately, the main one goes from west to east. But there are ways to get around with an ATV very easily, people, very easily. There are many ways that he could have traveled that particular night. And I guess I have to turn off the fan, and I have to turn... okay. I have to make sure everything is good for my presentation. But I tried to watch a couple of lives today, and they were so incredibly boring and uninformative. And I saw so many people in there, and I thought to myself, what the hell, man? I'm not prepared, but it can't be worse than what I just saw. So sometimes these types of things encourage me actually to do what I'm doing. And I'm going to wait a couple more minutes until more of you, hey guys, Seawood, everybody. I had to clean my lens last second. Changeman, hello. You know what's first? First things first.
Wake up, everybody.
Wake up, everybody.
They want to charge more. Big companies are creeping into our internet. Internet's in stress. Let's answer the SOS. I'm the internet. You're the internet. We're the internet. Now that's the internet. I like the internet. We love the internet, and I can prove it.
Some net fairy dust made me who I am, living in an online neverland. The web's my playground, no suits allowed. Internet celebrities, let's sing it proud.
I'm the internet, you're the internet, we're the internet, now that's the internet. I like the internet, we love the internet, and I can prove it. I'm the internet, you're the internet, we're the internet, now that's the internet. I like the internet, we love the internet, and I can prove it.
It's not my tights that cut off circulation. Big business.
That's Durwood.
Control the net nation.
Darren Geddes.
What you can see, how much you should pay. Tell me, is this the democratic way?
I'm the internet, you're the internet.
We're the internet, now that's the internet. I like the internet, we love the internet, and I can prove it. I'm the internet, you're the internet.
Really? Which one was Janie Ann?
I like the internet, we love the internet, and I can prove it.
What show was Janie on? I missed it. Timestamp.
Wake up, everybody, stop sleeping. They want to charge more. Big companies are creeping into our internet. Internet's in distress. Let's answer the SOS. Keep it free and keep it open. Speak up or our World Wide Web will be broken. I'm the internet, you're the internet, we're the internet, now that's the internet. I like the internet, we love the internet, and I can prove it. I'm the internet, you're the internet, we're the internet, now that's the internet. I like the internet, we love the internet, and I can prove it. I'm the internet, you're the internet, we're the internet, now that's the internet. I like the internet, we love the internet, and I can prove it. I'm the internet, you're the internet, we're the internet, now that's the internet. I like the internet, we love the internet, and I can prove it.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I'm happy to be here. And so Janie was on the Drunk Turkey show. Is that what that's what you're telling me? What is the timestamp? Is it still going? Wait, let me shut off a couple of things here to make sure I don't let okay, this is my email. That's not gonna happen. Got it. So. I'm back. Janie was on the. Is it still going? Do you have a timestamp? Did Janie talk? Okay, she was talking, but she's done talking, right? Let me see. Okay, so the Drunk Turkey show is there's a live that's still going. You guys telling me? I need, of course, a timestamp. So I can see when she was yapping. Did Janie leave or is she still on there? Okay. Who wasn't answering, Janie? I am firetown@gmail.com, Rob. Oh, I know he does. Because he has no skin in the game, you know what I mean? He's not... And then you get guests if you keep it so light that nobody's worried about you getting them for anything. So that's... I'm not surprised. Wait. What is this stupid commercial?
That
Okay,
information couldn't come up with anything else like with a crime or a criminal investigation.
Blah, blah, blah.
Like I said, I understand why people are suspicious. This is one of the reasons why I believe people are suspicious of Daniel. I don't discredit people that are suspicious.
Seems like an exciting viewing evening
But
unfolding.
I do think that it's also possible that two things can be right at the same time.
Okay, do you know a timestamp that I can go to? I have to go to the minus thing, right? In order to... You see, like I say, I tune into those shows when there is some important stuff, but the rest I cannot do because I just can't. And it's not good for me to listen to it. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. Very cool. Gmail, yes. I am firetown@gmail.com. Gmail. Or my Facebook, of course. But I would like to hear what Janie said. That would be interesting. Whatever the show, whatever the place, whatever the time. The chat was more informative than the show, yeah. I cannot listen to him. And there are quite a few people that I'm trying to listen to. And when somebody doesn't get to the point, chances are there isn't one. A, there isn't one. Or B, it is something that is not worth listening to, right? And I know we all know people like that when they talk and they never get to the point, or they send an email and you cannot realize what they actually want, right? And I tune out immediately. I ignore these things, and then eventually some people, they actually get to the point. Sometimes it's just a habit that we have developed. Like me, in my early years when I had to write, and I hated it. I hated writing. I hated the guidelines, right? In terms of what I was told I need to do in order to be polite. I like to get straight to the point. So a letter for me or a postcard would be, things are good in Costa Rica. I love you. Bye. Not hi everybody. How are you? You know what I mean? For me, I studied mathematics and I am very much into just facts, right? Not rhetoric, not sweet talking. And I realized there's a reason for that, because there's so much blah, 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 blah in the world. And as I am listening to anything related to this case and a lot of other cases, I just can't do it anymore. You know, the moment that I get this vibe from somebody, he just wants to talk. Okay, was Janie talking or texting? What was it? You know what? 11:30, you say? 1 hour and 30 minutes? Is it minus, or how does it work here? Minus 1:30? Let me try minus 1:30, just for shits and giggles.
One of them is not. That they suspected 2 different people that have suspected this man for breaking into the property of Daniel and Jamie's property.
Oh, this voice, man. Text
Text marks that dot. You know, he's lives close.
Okay, so I need to go to the minus part, right? I guess it's the let me see, Mike, I took numerous screenshots of Janie's comments. Oh, wow. Can you send them to me either with Facebook or Gmail? I don't understand how people listen to this. I mean, I've been entertained by the good things that people have sent to me, and it was so informative. And then I'm trying to tune into this, and I realize there's just nothing, man. It's just a whole bundle of nothing. And yeah, thank you so much, by the way, to the person who sent me the screenshots of the documents. That was great. Or she was texting. Great. If you send me the Thank you so much, Rob. Yeah, Black Opal, if you let me know the moment that you send it to me, that would be so wonderful. Then I can just go to the screenshots. That's really why we're here, to filter out the right information, guys. We don't need to sit through all this shit and hear somebody yapping and 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 yapping. I get offended by that. I feel like it's like, do you really think that I have nothing better to do? You know what I mean? But no wonder he got along with the crime and shame people. Just, Give me the facts first. And that's what Platts is all about, by the way. That we get the important parts first, the details later, right? Don't warm me up to something that is just insignificant. Don't warm me up little by little so my mind gets more open and all of a sudden you leave me with nothing. That's not what I'm into. And to be honest with you guys, I mean, I have a lot of things to talk about, but I felt like, I don't really have that much. And then I listened to this and I said, fuck it, man, I'm going on. Even if I don't have enough, it's still better than this. Send on FB, yes. You have my Facebook, right? Yeah, you can. I'm gonna go off camera for 1 second, guys. I'll keep on talking because I want nobody to see, of course. Some of you have told me, leave my name out of it. Some really good information I get from actually people who, you know, wow, have the interest in and pay close attention to details. So I'm in my Gmail and I'm in my Facebook as well to be able to see. And thank you so much to the person who sent me the documents. Yes, I got it, Grandel. You're the one. You're the one. Thank you so much. No, I don't care about the. You see, things like that, I don't really care about the viewing. I just zoom in more and I look closer and I squint my eyes and I see what I need to see. So as you can tell, presentation is not my forte. It's also not my priority. I tried and I realized it takes too much effort. And now I cannot see my Facebook Messenger. How much did Janie talk? A lot? Yeah, I think actually now that they feel safe, they do feel a sense of fame, right? You know, and I just hope they're not going to make a ton of money off of this eventually. You know, where instead of a trailer, they all of a sudden move to a luxury area of Halifax and get a Netflix deal going. That can happen, people. That can also happen, you know, in many cases. And that's not going to be good for an investigation. When people talk about anything else surrounding it except the question what happened to Jack and Lilly. We've seen it in the Sebastian Rogers case, right? We have people like At Night and even Dog the Bounty Hunter inserting themselves to use the case for their own benefit. And some people spread misinformation on purpose about this green hoodie thing, right? They talk about the Texas Roadhouse and nothing happened there. Sebastian got home and Sebastian was over-medicated and he fell out of bed. And then at 3 a.m., that's when the cleanup crew came. And that's what I've said for over a year, and I stick with that. So the problem is when we see so many people coming in and they get attention because they are pretending to want to solve the case, but in reality they just see an opportunity. And you know, it's always been like that, guys. It's always like that. There's nothing we can do. And it is what it is, right? But the problem is, okay, I cannot get my face. Shit. Anything that misleads people. Okay, send. Okay, let me go to something else for now. I didn't get it yet.
The Richard Allen case, based on all the evidence of co-op investigation, who's not either. Yeah, but eventually it happened, right?
Okay, the beginning is at minus 240. Minus 240, and you said 130, right? Minus 140. I see minus 141. So it should be at minus 111. Somewhere around there should be Janie.
Consistency. You know, somebody saying I called at 10, police arrived 12 minutes. Not heard that. I've talked to them. I've not heard that somebody tried to break in afterwards. I heard that somebody tried to break in beforehand, which is why the forerunners or the four-wheelers weren't there. That is Nick and everything else, and then expected people in the manner that, you know, she said that they went to the...
Oh, Grendel, I did not see that part of the crouching down. But I saw Katie run back to the house. That's what I saw in that video, guys. So someone should send a date to Daniel to spy. Oh man. CB Canada, that would so work. That would so work. Any volunteers? I got 90% females here, so be my guest. Be my guest. He will bite the bait. Oh my God. Nobody? No volunteers? Come on, people. I don't know. I'm a dude. I cannot tell if Daniel is attractive or not. You know, if he wasn't so full of shit, I would say he seemed likable if I didn't know what this was about. And I think that's what he's counting on. I think that Daniel knows he is some sort of like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh shit. Okay. Sorry, Daniel, not yet. Daniel, maybe you should come back here in the chat and, you know, if you maybe answer a few questions, set yourself free. What time did they get home that night before this appeared? Yeah, I'm going to get to that, people. Give me 1 second, okay? 1 second. That's exactly what I'm going to get to. What? See, I don't need to lay my phone down anymore on my table. But this is exactly what I was going to get to. However, I'm going to check my email and... Oh, Black Opal, thank you for coming through. Oh, yeah, baby. There we go. There we go. At least something. It's not a lot, but it's something. And something is better than nothing. Because otherwise I will figure I can be yapping too. If it works and it gets people to watch. Oh, it's no problem. Age is not a problem, I think, actually. You know what? You too runs with scissors. I think it's all about energy. Like, what are we at, you know, what type of person we are attracted to? I think what it comes down to is energy. And age, I know people in their 50s who, in their late 30s, had no energy, way obese, depressed, on medication, just finished with life, you know, and then in their 40s had sort of an awakening, like, oh my God, I'm gonna live my life now, and just started playing tennis or do whatever, and did for themselves what nobody had done for them before in their lives, and turned out gorgeous, you know, the complete opposite. So age, you know, there are people in their early 50s who are much fitter than people, some others in their, let's say, late 30s, you know what I mean? So I don't think age would be would be important. Sad situation, but what rise can we do? Get over it? No. You know what? The only thing we can do, and this is the other thing, a lot of these channels seem to only focus on the emotions of the viewers. And, you know, I have my own emotions, I have my own thoughts and feelings. But the best thing we can do is we have the choice to listen or not listen, right? We have the choice in terms of what we listen to. So when you give us a hint, when you give us information, something we use, we will zoom in. All the other bullshit that you're going to talk around it in order to sidetrack us and mislead us, that's, oh my God. And they checked it 3 times. Now, that's not really an interview, right? Is there more? Let me ask you like this. Is there any... Yes, that too. Yeah, Rebecca, very cool. Very cool, and I'm not surprised. You know what? There's something really, really unique about people who truly are interested in true crime. Now, they are the majority of people, I think, they are just, happy to, no, they're not really interested actually in solving anything. But the ones who are the ones who, it's a state of mind, wanting to know, wanting to understand what we don't. And that includes us being able to understand people, the people we live with, the people we have to be around on an everyday basis. What makes them snap? Why did this guy go from here to there, to the point of no return? What are the steps? What could have been prevented? This is what fascinates me in terms of knowing what's really underneath, right? We live in a world that's politically correct. We are taught to be fake polite. There are people we are hanging out with at work every single day, but we don't know what they're doing and what's on their mind and what they're into and what kind of crap they're capable of. So you speak and analyze. I will listen, please. That's what I do. Yeah, I always been fascinated. You know what? Okay, I will stop yapping, but there's not much, right? Black Opal, is that it? Is there more? Let me look. Let me see what else you sent to me. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. But you know what? Oh yeah, here we go. My bad. You got it. Thank you. Shut up, Mike. And download the files. Absolutely great. Thank you so much. I will present this right now and go through it with you to see what we can get out of Janie's recent and latest. Is that it? Black Opal? Oh, no, it's not. There's more. You sent me. You know what? I'm going to download some of them twice. I don't care. Better safe than sorry. I don't want to miss something good, I got this already. Shit. When I see the download and it's in parentheses 1, I already know I got it twice. You know what? Let me just go for it now. The last one was page 6. Good. All right. So don't kill the messenger. Here we go. What does Janie want from us? What are her intentions? That is something we always want to... Wait. There's no Janie on this one. Okay, so somebody asked Janie, is that sketchy neighbor all tatted? And it's a good thing to go into the neighbor because the neighbor was introduced by Janie and Daniel. Remember that, guys, right? Janie and Daniel are the ones who have introduced the neighbor to us before we even knew what he alleged took place at night. So they made the neighbor important to us. I don't see Janie. Wait. Please don't use all caps. YT doesn't like it. I don't like it. I don't like all caps. whenever I see something, a video, and the title is all caps, I already know they're full of shit. Boom! Breaking news! I already know that there's a need to oversell and nothing is going to be there. So, I don't know, guys. What am I looking for here? Okay, so these are the documents. I will check them later. I will look at them later to get more of an idea what I'm actually, well, I don't know if it's important, but the redactions are very, it's more important to me actually what's being redacted. I think I'm looking at a power line here. I'm not 100% sure, but there's a power line north of like 2-3 kilometers north of the home where Jack and Lilly were. So one of you suggested to me it could be possible actually that Daniel had it up north when he lost the star, or Lily's star was dropped at McLeod Bridge, right? When I said, and I still believe that he went towards the Chance Harbor area, the Trenton connector and all of that. But one of you had suggested to me that, well, the power lines are very easy to travel on with an ATV, extremely easy. Well, the problem is that this particular main power line is going from west to east, right? But even though I have on my mind something very specific. Oh, okay. Black Opal, I'm getting your other messages now. Very cool. Very cool. Let me know when you're done. I'm going to get right to it and read from Janie's. The documents were sent to me by somebody who watched the blah 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 show. Yes, power lines are kept clear. So this is a possibility. I still say he went up north towards the Trenton connector area. Remember, we saw an image of him from that area, right? So I still don't think that he went west. I don't think, but the possibility, I have to allow for the possibility to be there. I cannot dismiss it, and I will not give extra weight to something other than that. I will have the equal possibilities in front of me at all times, even though I'm leaning towards the Chance Harbor area. The Trenton connector up north is where I think he went. But remember, I'm going to look at the article again where they actually looked at the Kobe Kid toll pass, right? Was that it? They checked camera footage from there. So police must have had a reason or a suspicion that this is where he could have traveled at night. And we all know that he suspects him. They suspect him. We all know that, no matter what they say. Okay, so 2.5 to 3 hours, an ATV can go on a full tank of gas. I believe that. Yep. I believe that. I do believe. And you know what? I've been out in the boonies. I see how people live, and a lot of people, they have just huge gas tanks there. I mean, they don't run out of gas. They make sure that they don't one day, you know, get stuck there in the middle of the night if they have to go somewhere and nothing is open. So I know that there are people who have a, you know, I don't see him needing to get gasoline. I don't see that happening. You know, Earl, him, whatever, they may have huge gas tanks. Rob, did you send it to Facebook or where? Oh yeah, I got you, Rob. I got your email. Got you. Oh, Janie was arguing with Belinda. Holy shit. Wow. Okay, I will check this. I will give me a second, people, okay? I will go into my email to get this. And as I'm figuring out how YouTube works, I don't need to put my phone down anymore. Okay, 6, here we go. First I get Opal. 7. And is that, by the way, did you see that image? Is that a power line that's going up north also? Are there other power lines? I have not had time to examine this properly yet. But power lines are a very good way to travel. And I'll show you some else in a minute that also was suggested to me. That makes perfect sense. Because there was the little a little brook, right? Where he could have... Okay, wait. Almost done with this. And now I'm going to download all of these. Unzip. Extract. Wow. Could it be that easy? I had no idea. I had no idea. Okay. Back to it. The RCMP and investigators, they are welcome on this property anytime to do whatever they need to do. I have nothing to hide. I have been cooperating in anything they need to do. Well, first of all, she hasn't. And she has told us in her own language that she did not want the RCMP in their trailer. And she talked about seeing Malaya with Meadow on her arm. No, Ninchi, that does not mean that Malaya did it. Okay, sorry. But this is why I like to look at the factual statements without listening to somebody trying to tell me what I need to think. And I believe it was a very important moment that morning to have Malaya be the one that greets the police officers. Janie was hiding in her trailer. Let's make very, very clear, guys. Janie was hiding from the police in her trailer. I don't know, there are many other ways to put this, but in a nutshell, she did not want to be there when the cops come. Yes, I got them, Black Opal. Thank you so much. I got them. I'll get to them next. So, and by the way, yes, if you guys, say, oh, please listen to this video, please listen to this person, she knows what's going on. First, if you cannot tell me in your own words, a quick summary, just a very quick one, I'm not going to listen to it, right? I love it when people send me these 2-hour videos and say, here, that's the solution. Everything is there. There's a proof. And I'm like, what the hell? First of all, I don't watch 2-hour videos. I watch parts of them. I go to the good parts first. I always go to the good parts first, and that's what Platts is all about. Because never listen to people who overcomplicate their craft to elevate themselves rather than teach properly what we need to know. And I've experienced that with instructors. I know how full of shit so many are, and I realize how many of them don't have the ability to answer very specific questions because A, they never thought about them, and B, they have never been taught them. And they basically only are able to repeat what they've been taught. But there are in every field people who have a natural desire to learn, and to whom what they're being taught is not enough, right? I worked with top scientists back in my old field, where I was amazed that these people exist. Not everybody on top is a natural born scientist, but there are some who live it, right? They don't brag about their degrees, they don't brag about their accomplishments, they only look at what's yet to be done. That's what's important. That's the people I listen to, and that's the people I look for in my life actively, rather than sitting there and letting somebody tell me what they think. I don't give a crap. I told the RCMP investigators they are welcome on this property anytime. No, you did not. Well, now you do. Now that you are in the clear in your own mind, now that everything has been removed, I believe they feel very safe about the fact everything has been done to remove evidence. And by the way, when it comes to cadaver dogs, that's another story. There is conflicting statements whether or not cadaver dogs have been deployed in their house, right, or in the trailer. I would like to know for a fact. Why don't we know that? And that is a very important aspect that hasn't been properly only search dogs. Why people? Oh my God. Why only search dogs? Why? Are they not allowed? Are they not able to introduce search dogs before they do more, have a probable cause, or what is the reason? I'm not sure. Okay, let me keep going. There's a lot more. What am I looking at here? Okay. Oh, yikes. Next one. I said everything I know in chat and in my interview. What more can I tell you guys? Somebody said, Janie, don't worry about answering any questions. That's not why you are here. Why else would she be here? Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Sunny is doing the best job on keeping Jack and... No, she's not. No, she's not. If you disinform people by having Durwood on, you are... Okay, Chelsea's here. Mariska, I didn't think you can conclude who all I listened to. Yeah. Who's Mariska? Who's she replying to? Is it here? Yes, so stop accusing her, jeez. Useful idiots, right? Oh, I know her. Huh. Wow. No wonder this person is no longer in my chat. And hasn't been for a while. Very strange. The kids always went out the sliding door to do out in the yard. To do out in the yard. To do out. Interesting choice of words. To do out in the yard. They searched my trailer twice on Friday and once on Sunday morning. Why are we still hung up on that? Why? Yeah, what is, Carla, what was going on with this to Chelsea? What happened there? And what did this Mariska? Who the hell? She used to be in my chat, but she's also one of those people who believes that Sebastian didn't make it home from the Texas Roadhouse. You know what I mean? Need a warrant to search on Sunday, according to Belinda. I see. Okay, got it. So they needed a warrant because Janie wasn't cooperating then, right? Roadhouse. Yeah. Why did they need a warrant? Because Janie was not cooperating then. Exactly. Janie refused another search. Oh my God. These ass washers. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't believe it. But then again, I can. I don't want people like that. Can they track the phone of someone who drove by? Okay, Belinda said, Janie, they asked Saturday and you argued. They came back on Sunday. That's exactly what it is. That's why Janie is so hung up on these people. She knows that she refused to let them in. She did not want them back. If they had to get a warrant, then now her damage control includes trying to convince us that she volunteered to have it searched. That's exactly where we're at. That is the reason. When somebody over explains anything, there is a reason for that, guys. There is a reason, and that is the reason. That's why my initial reaction was, why are we still on and on about the search of the damn trailer? Why? Because she knows it can be held against her that she refused to let them go in there. So there is a reason why we are out of the flow. That's the way I can put it. When somebody brings up something, like in the beginning, they brought up the neighbor again and again and again. We didn't care about the neighbor. We didn't care if he allegedly stole, which, by the way, she wasn't able to say in a statement. She just said somebody took something and when she was gone, and she cannot tell us what it was. You know, she was not able to tell us directly that she believes the neighbor took something from her property. She even used him as an excuse why the ATV wouldn't be there, as if somebody would be able to sneak on the property with her dog there and take an ATV. Impossible. Impossible. But we were wondering, right? It was a huge sensitivity. And why did Daniel even talk about the neighbor and bring him up in that interview with Kayla? Why did he do that? So we mark it as a sensitivity, as we are not sure yet why. But as later statements came to us, we realized exactly why. Because that neighbor needed to be discredited. And they haven't been able to tell us, no, there was no car coming in and out. There is no denial, people. Rather than giving us a clear denial, they are trying to discredit the source. Same with Daniel. Everything he does about accusations, crazy accusations online. He didn't say to us these accusations are false. The only thing that he is trying to do is discredit everything that is threatening to him. And the neighbor was threatening to him. And that's exactly where we need to stay. They try to sidetrack us away from what is important. And let me see the latest of, I think you may have sent the same thing. Belinda's the only one out there fighting for Jack and Lilly. Where are the rest of the family? Yes, and her daughter Chelsea too. Janie McKenzie. Hi, Daniel. Is Daniel there? Daniel Martell? I don't see him. I'm doing it backwards. My house has never been searched. That's what Belinda said. Yep. No reason to. No reason to. Of course, no reason to. So stop accusing her. Jeez. Oh my God, guys. You know what? Please read Janie's response. What happened to this woman? She used to be here, and then she got hung up on Sebastian, never made it home from the Texas Roadhouse, and she believes whatever at night is fabricating, and the next thing you know, that's it. Give me a second, I got one more message. I want to go to this before I get to what I actually plan to do. And what I planned to do was the, oh, there's more. Wow. Okay. The problem is when you have a group of people all agreeing on the same lie. And then they're hiding under the name of Green Team or something like that and censor each other. And the next thing you know, they are not the same. All of a sudden they say you cannot listen to Mike the Man because he doesn't buy into it. And I had people sending me good information from the so-called Green Team and said, but no, and under no circumstances can you mention me because they kicked me out of the Green Team. I was told I cannot listen to you anymore. And I would never be able to go by other people's rules like that, you know. At work, yeah, at work I have to, of course, to get a paycheck, I have to submit to the rules there are, but not in my personal life. But there are people who love that so-called protection from a team surrounding them, and all of a sudden they are, you know, self-censoring and each other. But it's not a surprise that the same type of person is there taking Janie's side and telling people to ignore the obvious and not to attack her. You know what I mean? There's a certain personality trait of the types of people that are just gullible and need something to hold on to or need some kind of validation while making themselves look like they're the good people. What is it called? Virtue signaling? And I'm back. Here we go. Let's see what I missed. Okay, sorry, this was already done. And here we have, okay, some of it is, oh my God, look at Mariska. I suspect that guy from the get-go. Who, the neighbor? And that's why I also say when you are in these types of channels, if you look at the chat, it's even worse than the presentation. Janie, stay strong. We are here and oh, shame on you. Shame on you. You used to be on my channel. Look at you now. Look at you now. Janie, stay strong. Can you believe it? These people have no backbone, nothing to believe in, and they need the support of others who tell them what to think. Oh my God. I'm not surprised though. I'm not surprised. Okay, I got a lot of these things twice. It means I'm going to move on to what I wanted to talk about initially. Which is my fault. I think I downloaded them twice. Yeah, that's it, right? I think I got those. Right? Black Opal. I think I got those. I think that's all there was, really. Let me make sure. Let me see you. Flip-floppers. Oh yeah, the moment that they are in a new group, the moment a new group accepts them and they get a certain feeling of importance, they accept whatever rhetoric they want to be, it's like I don't know what it is exactly. So let me go back to one statement from Daniel that I really wanted you guys to see before I go. Okay, wait. And that's about the bad. Remember with Katie Proudfoot when she talked about when Sebastian went to bed, and she made several statements and none of them were the same. Remember that, guys? Do you remember? The discrepancies. When I told him to go to bed, he did. What, 9? Then there was noise. Then there was a third. Then there was another statement that would take me a while to get into. I have already talked about it. I've already discussed it in detail. That indicated there was a huge struggle between Katie Proudfoot and her son Sebastian about him not being able to sleep. She over-medicated him and he fell out of bed, according to her own statements. So if anybody tries to tell you he didn't make it back to the Texas Roadhouse because there was an interaction between Katie and Green Hoodie, please, please, please find that footage for me. Nobody can. But half of the people on Twitter who follow the case have agreed on something that isn't, right? These leaps of faith we do not make. We need the dots to connect. If I see her hand something to the person, yes. But it was a stranger that she was walking by. So I have to urge you guys to, no matter what anybody says, know when to say no, know when to step in, know when to step out. And if you walk down these roads, you will always be misled, you know? Here we go. At around 12 p.m., kids are sleeping. A little while later, I go to bed. Okay, Malaya marks the kids absent from school. Wait, the first one is this. 3:09 left pizza shop, got home little before 4. I got my tools together and helped work on the fence. That's Daniel. I came inside. That's Daniel about Thursday. I came inside when it started to get dark around 8 or so. Kids are already in bed. I flicked on the kids' room light at around 12 p.m. When it started to get dark and sundown, I looked at it. Sunset was like 8:26 or something like that. But he said the kids are already in bed. Or, as we would say, kids were already in bed. He's using present tense, generally speaking, when he is being scripted. When he gets into script. Hi, Krista. No, not a problem. You know what? I didn't even notice. Oh, Changeman was here. But I don't even, you know, all the right people are coming now to this channel, so there's no, wow. Not like in the beginning where you have to babysit. Where was I? Kids are already in bed. Okay, Daniel, there's your script again. So sunset was, I think, 8:26. That's what I remember from when I looked it up, right? He said kids are already in bed. When did they get to bed? I flicked on the kids' room light, and that's another important part. But here we get the impression that Jack and Lilly actually went to bed around 8. Remember this. And this is a statement he gave long after Malaya had left. So I believe that this part was not properly scripted by them. Not in detail. Maybe in the beginning, maybe he forgot a little bit. Maybe he got confused. But we're going to see a 2-hour time difference here in statements. We cannot know for sure what the children had on when they disappeared or when they went to bed. Remember, Katie Proudfoot was also vague about that. So I said from the beginning, I believe what happened around bedtime. They already had on what they would wear to bed, but I do believe there's a strong possibility that he that they were making noise. Now, remember this one. Let me get right to this article, and I mean the important parts, not the introduction where they tell people about what the case is about. We don't need that. We need to get only the important parts. That's what we have to focus on, and it starts with mother's account. Here is the mother's account. That would be the person, I guess, who is... What's with my lens, man? I hope you guys can see it. Oh boy. Since the Sullivan children disappeared 3.5 months ago, their mother has avoided making public statements. The newly released documents provide summaries of 5 statements Brooks Murray provided to the RCMP. In her first police interview, she described Martell as an involved parent who would help her, especially when she was overwhelmed. Script. She said he wasn't aggressive with the children, but he had a voice they would listen to. Remember Sonny asking her, did he hurt the children? She said, he picked on Jack and sometimes on Lily. That means yes, he was aggressive with them. Grown-ups don't pick on children. They discipline children. Children pick on children. What? What do you mean he picked on him? Did he say, oh, your nose is too big, or you're too fat, or you... What do you mean by he picked on them? He's a grown-up picking on a little child? Yeah, that's absolutely, that is minimizing something very significant. And the question was, did you hurt the children? Did he hurt the children? Did he did not deny it. She didn't deny it. Malaya didn't deny it. Yes, he did, on a regular basis. Brooks Murray told RCMP there was never any physical discipline. I'm sure she used the term never also. And she didn't say, I didn't see, well, okay, strike that, Your Honor, strike that, because I don't know whoever wrote this. Journalists cannot always be trusted. They are, they got their job, and to appeal to the readers, that's their job, right? If they quote verbatim, yes, good. If not, strike that. In other sections where police summarize their account of their relationship, the document is heavily redacted. Yes, anything related to the relationship between Daniel and Malaya is redacted, because his violent nature at home is what they didn't want people to see, because they knew people would immediately conclude he must have done it, which I believe he did. Not based on that, but based on the behavior towards the children and his own statements and the statements of Logan's and Janie's and Malaya's. Can you see that, guys? On Wednesday evening, they were laundered. They must have slept in their clothes for 2 nights. Wednesday, yeah, I wouldn't doubt they slept in the same clothing. And I wonder, that's why Jack took off his pull-up, his own pull-up, many times, because they wouldn't change it. I believe he got so uncomfortable that many times he took off the pull-up, and that was one of the things that Daniel was angry about. But listen to this night, what happened. Brooks Murray did, however, call RCMP. Okay, this is about her at 12:45 a.m. on May 3rd. Okay, on May 2nd, they were reported missing. That same night, midnight 45, she decided to call RCMP to report that the Brunswick. That's why the RCMP showed up at Belinda's house where Cody was staying at 2:50 a.m. They acted quickly. She also stated that she couldn't sleep that night. Remember, on Saturday she said last night was one of the worst nights. It was not the worst night, but one of the worst nights. So as cold as she is and as cold as she was, They still kept her up, but we don't know exactly for what reason. And I believe she had also anger left towards Cody. I believe that anger towards Cody could have expressed itself in the way that she didn't stand up for Jack and Lilly. This is just my thought. This is my personal thought. Because when I don't understand it, I try to. How could she be so cold and indifferent with her own children? Oh my God. Cody said he has not seen Jack and Lilly in 3 years and confirmed they were not with him. Yep. On May 7, RCMP spoke to Sullivan again because a tip said that he had been seen by a hotel employee in New Brunswick. Police confirmed once again he was at home in Nova Scotia. So much for the tips. And by the way, the Natasha tip falls into the same kind of category. Yet they highlight it. Because why? Because some people gave Durwood a platform, influencing the public, making them think that maybe the kids were taken to a reservation, and so the police is using that. So if you had Durwood on and gave him a platform, you did not do anything for Jack and Lilly. As a matter of fact, you worked against what could have been solved by now. It's called sidetracking. It's very, very effective. So don't tell me we are doing this for Jack and Lilly or we share this for Jack and Lilly. No, it's not about the information that you get, but what you do with it. If you are part of disinforming the public, guess what? You are working against them. Later that month, RCMP requested the camera footage at the Carbequid Pass, the location of a toll plaza in the Trans-Canada Highway in northern Nova Scotia, about 70 kilometers from the New Brunswick border, between May 1 at 2:25 p.m. and May 3 at 3 a.m. Nothing there. The children were on video for surveillance. Okay, Dollarama, we know that. This time frame will encompass the time frame between when they were last seen, blah, blah, blah. Back to the basics. Cody didn't have anything to do with it. Why mention this? Why focus on him? And they say it's not clear what the camera footage did or did not confirm. So they're actually leaving it out there like, oh, maybe Cody did it, right? Look at the subliminal way this is being worded, guys. Highly misleading, guys. Highly misleading. You see, I'm taking you back to the very, very basics, guys. Know exactly what you're looking at here. Now, Martel said he had no idea Brooks Murray called RCMP. You know what? I actually believe that. That first night to report Sullivan might have taken the chin. I believe that. I believe that she had some anger towards Cody left. I think maybe a lot of it. I was so and she knew Cody didn't take the children. I was so exhausted on the night of May 2. I went to bed. I still remember that I sat on the bed. Oh God, now wait. My battery. I don't want to be disconnected now. Oh my God. Okay, guys. I was so exhausted on the night of May 2. I went to bed. I still remember that I sat on the bed. I gave Malaya a hug and everything. And then I literally passed out cold because I was so tired from searching all day and I fell asleep at 9:09. Very specific time, right? 9:09. Well, maybe he looked at the clock. It was 9:09. You know, that's not exactly the time when you fell asleep, but shortly after. You see, but we notice that Daniel is always trying to be accurate. You think she would have told me that the next day, but nothing. Brooks Murray told police she was awake most of the first night the children were gone. Actually, that was not the first night they were gone. They were gone the night before. But that is not something that they want to include in this article or think about even. She slept between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. Okay, now the days before disappearance, we know on Wednesday, all 5, okay, yes, they went to do laundry. More than an hour later, Brooks Murray took the baby with her to get a license plate for her. Are you guys still here? I'm not starting a new live. I'm simply trying to reactivate this one. And now I gotta see if you guys are back. Oh, wow! This is too easy, man. I thought I have to start a new one and say, I just got disconnected. And okay. Wow. Thank you, Krista. This is too cool. You see, I overcomplicated lives before. I thought it was so difficult and I don't want to do it. It's too much. And what if, and what if, and what if. You know what I mean? Obsessive perfectionism. But that's why I watch, sometimes when I watch Drunk Turkey or some other shows like that, I'm like, okay, even if I suck, I don't suck like that. But, however, it worked for him. He gotten some information. He gotten Janie to come there. Janie would not come to me. Daniel comes to me only when I say something that's very obviously wrong that he can easily dispute. Like if I read somebody's rumor, right? But in the meantime, Black Opal, you sent me this and I love it. Janie, did they play in this camp often or was it open in a while? Wondering if they would have wanted to go that way. So that's Charles asking. And this may not be in the right order, people, okay? This is not in the right order at all, but that's my way of downloading it. That probably messed it up. Laurie, because when you care, you ask questions. You don't care about backlash when you want answers. That's what Charles said. Charles is the aunt of Jack and Lilly, the biological aunt of Jack and Lilly. And she was here yesterday in the chat. In case you guys, too many names being thrown around. Who's she replying to, Laurie? Charles, why would she ask questions when she tells somebody something? They call her a liar. I don't blame her for not. Scumbag. Just to take the side of somebody who's... Oh my God, that's why I cannot handle these types of chats, people. I couldn't be in there. Seriously, these types of people, you entertain them when you have to, but only for a little bit. You know what I mean? So they're accusing basically Belinda and Chelsea of grilling Janie and are being apologetic. And of course, Drunk Turkey show they like it because it gets everybody together. And you don't have to have skin in the game. You get them to talk to each other. But sometimes I benefit from that because some good statements come out of it. So, by the way, many of these people were in chat before, and thanks to the moderators, they're not visible anymore when they comment, because I don't want these types of comments here. I want only anything that helps us. You can disagree with me as much as you want. I have no problem with that. If I get anything wrong, point it out. If I'm on the wrong track, if I have been misinformed by anything, let me know. I told the RCMP investigators they are welcome on my property. Okay, we are back to this. Let's see what else is there. I don't know who Oryx is, who she's replying to right now. I need to see if I missed something there. Not here. I want to see exactly where Oryx... And by the way, also, her trailer was searched for... No, never answer for the person you're interviewing. Never do that. Never. Let them tell you in their own words. Doesn't matter how they answer. If they're lying, if they're avoiding, whatever, we can analyze that. Janie, is there any suspicious people in the area that may have been watching the children? That's Charles. And I believe that she is... Well, she's asking whatever comes to her mind. I think it's a good thing. And again, doesn't mean she had to pay a lot of attention to the case, but Janie said no one was watching the kids. How do you know? How would you know? How would you know for a fact that nobody had been watching the children? She's certain about that. She knows what happened. She's giving it away in many, many different forms. If you didn't know what happened to Jack and Lilly, well, wouldn't you consider any possibility if you truly didn't know? Well, maybe there was somebody, who knows? How well do I know my neighbors? Maybe they had been watching the kids. I don't know. Maybe we should go into their houses and search their houses. Maybe they did it, right? If you truly, truly, truly do not know what happened to the children, every single possibility will run through your mind. Even the most absurd one, where Belinda called the reservation and she knew they were not on the reservation, but still, 1 in a billion, that possibility made it impossible for her to ignore it or dismiss it. Anytime people are dismissive, a huge red flag. Unless it's based on evidence where somebody's completely cleared, as has been Cody. But again, they are doing everything they can to mislead the public with the help of what Durwood put out already. And by the way, Durwood's son, I guess, was on some show giving an interview. Adventures Underwater UK has posted it. I was going to go through that with you guys, but I may not do it today, and analyze if there's anything indicating that Jordan Geddes had actual knowledge of what happened or what the search was really all about. This is a scumbag convention right here, man. And of course, people like Janie are drawn to it, but Belinda and Chelsea, they want to be there in order to ask their questions that have never been answered. Janie, did they play in the camps often? Okay, I already gotten to this, right? Yeah, they're attacking Belinda's daughter here. And that's no surprise. It's no surprise that the people who want to know the answers get attacked here. No surprise at all, people. And it's the same type of people that spread disinformation and misinformation about Sebastian Rogers. They were upset how, and that is also, I blame these people greatly for the Sebastian Rogers case never being solved, because they buy into these fabrications and spend their time on that rather than putting pressure on law enforcement. So when law enforcement sees that the public is just so confused and they have made mistakes, they will say, you know what, I'm not even going to get into it. The public is not putting pressure on us. They're fighting each other, theory against theory. And this is what's happening here right now. They were upset. How could you expect them to? Oh my God, I cannot even read that woman. I said everything I know in chat and in my interview. What more can I tell you guys? And why the hell are you there? Why are you there if there's nothing? I thought the reason for being there is to help figure out what happened to Jack and Lilly. No, it's damage control. That's why it's Marie Antoinette, da-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum. And the moderators here are the same way, man. Hi, Cara. I know you're here too. If you're still here. Or if you mistook my disconnection for... Hi, Ida. I love it when some of you are there for the reason that you... Look at the excuses here. Someone can be a liar, not an... Unreal, man. Unreal. Unreal. What a cesspool. But thank you for... Belinda said, "Hi, sweetie. I have to sign off now. I love you." I don't know who she's replying to. Maybe her daughter. Right? Her daughter was in there, I think, by herself for a little bit. Janie, please answer. What is this? My question about the dog. Daphne, pretty much whatever she sees on my videos, repeating that. Amy Fain, if I had chickens, I'd rather... Okay. Anything else? Thursday afternoon. What is this? There was enough evidence sheet we cleaned out. I don't know what this is about. Daniel, are you here? No, he's not. Or he is. He probably is. I need to see what question that was to Janie about Thursday. The cops. Janie, what time were you raking the driveway, night or day? Then Janie says, "Hi, Daniel." Let me see real quick. So this is the... They all stuck together in the cover-up. Yes, KC, absolutely. But you are outnumbered over there. There were enough of them and enough time for them to clean up. Yep. No. And these people who run these types of channels, they want this to happen. They want people to be confused and come to them for the non-answers because all the players are there, right? So the more they argue, the more views they get. And that's why they're doing this. That's why they're playing both sides, right? It's not to find out what happened because you get them to talk. But, when you're misinforming the public and using your platform to do that, then the police will also step back and say, okay, well, we done our job and it's better than to admit to mistakes we may have made. Janie, if you don't mind me asking, why did you not want them to enter then? I don't know exactly what this is about. Is this really, really... Oh yeah, it's about the house or her trailer being searched. I think I need to go back to my, what I was starting about Thursday, whether or not the children actually went to bed. Right? Let me read your comments. Can you tilt the screen forward a little bit? Okay. Oh, holy crap. Hi, Black Opal. Thank you for pointing this out. Okay, guys, one moment. I want to get back to what I have started to talk about. And here we are back. Now remember Daniel's statement, right? Give me a second. I need to go back to him talking about bedtime. What time did Jack and Lilly say? I say Jack and Lilly never made it to sleep that night. To give you the summary of what I'm telling you guys. I think it happened around bedtime and they didn't get any sleep. Didn't go to sleep. I think it was similar to Sebastian Rogers. Very similar. Because they cannot agree on what time Jack and Lilly actually went to bed. Daniel says around 8 or so. Remember? Around 8 or so, the sun, it was getting dark. Now sunset was 8:26, I believe, that day. 8:26, and he said the kids are already in bed. That's of course a script. But he said at 8:26, supposedly the kids were already asleep or in bed. He didn't say asleep, but in bed. And there are two things that worry me here. Okay, they went to do laundry. More than an hour later, Brooks Murray took the... Okay. So, Jack and Lilly, this is a beautiful picture, by the way. I love how concentrated Jack is here. How he's into what he's doing. According to the documents, they went to the Ultramar in Millbrook to get gas, and she stopped to get a vape for Daniel at high grade. Yeah, she's like Daniel's servant, right? She probably gets money from her grandma and spends it on Daniel because he needs to vape. He had it made, dude. He was in full control of this household. Mark my words. The only person who was more in control was his mommy. And his mommy didn't like Jack and Lilly. And that's where the pressure cooker was centered. So, the entire family later went for groceries and eventually arrived back at 10:19 p.m. So yeah, they got some money, I think, from grandma, but maybe not as much as they hoped for. And of course, Logan praises that. Oh my God, he didn't buy his substances. He spent the money on the children and supposedly clothing, but we don't have confirmation. So, 10:19, that's when Jane's saying, "You're home late, aren't you?" Imagine, you live somewhere and the moment you have your own family and sometimes you come home late. Now, that was Wednesday, right? They were supposed to go to school the next day. But in this family, I don't think they worry too much about the kids being too tired to learn, right? "I would have come home a lot earlier," he said to her, according to Janie. "I would have come home a lot earlier if what?" She didn't want to get into detail. Imagine a woman, and do you remember when there was this interview with where she's standing next to the sliding door and he's like, "You do it, you open it, because otherwise you're going to say I do it too quiet," and and she's staring at her. Remember the body language? She's staring right in her face. That's how she was. That's how she probably stood right next to Daniel when he put the blanket into the trash. Supposedly. But wait a minute. I'm going to scroll down in a second, and you're going to see that Malaya actually claimed that she threw the blanket away. But Janie felt the need to tell us, remember exactly, it was a week ago, she said. A week before. Because she was standing right next to him to make sure the trash isn't too heavy. Why does she feel the need to explain how she would know? Because Malaya stated she was the one who threw it away. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but that's coming up in this article. And that is the part, you see, I love to go through these things the second time. The second time is always when it gets good. Yeah, so, hi Ida. Thank you for being in the cesspool to get some information and stand your ground over there. You know what I mean? I appreciate you guys who actually are out there. And don't let them make it too much of a damage control job. So, that's what she said. So, that should be, you know what? I was thinking about a tagline for Plaids, and I think it's going to be "so" with 2 capital letters and 3 exclamation marks. So, because it's, Yeah, a big so. Oh my God. Yeah, I see it's going to work. I will do that. You see, I left the space below. You remember the, okay, one moment. Sorry, I'm only human. I'm very serious about this, but sometimes shit just cracks me up. And that's what keeps me going, people. Wait, let me see my pets. Okay. I think here it's gonna be. So, I left this open for a reason, and I had different thoughts about what I was going to use as a tagline, but I think so is gonna be perfect. Because we don't want any impact to go to waste, right? And Janie's putting a lot of energy into all of this. And now I don't see your chat. Okay, I can see it. It's just so to the point. Yeah. Thank you, Zach. It's gonna happen as soon as I'm done with that. I'll be back in tomorrow. How many exclamation marks? Like 3 of them, right? Or just one, right? Up to you guys. I'll read your chat later. 1 to 4. Yeah, maybe one spot is gonna be for the wait. Geez, now I'm into it. Maybe so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exclamation. No, not 4. Not so many. So 1, 2. I will figure it out. I'll come up with some. Yeah, Grandel, that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Each box like 2 of them. Okay, here's so 2, 2, 2, something like that. So, good morning, Mike. Hi, Kim. Welcome. I think this is a good, like Daniel. Okay, yeah, Daniel always uses 2, right? Daniel uses 2, yeah. Yeah, we don't want to be unfaithful to the people who inspire us. You're right. I think this is the best time, Kim, for me, for us in general. So you know, the people are not yet asleep. And yeah, so exactly 2. I love the 2. Do, re, mi, so. Oh my God. Yeah, I think the double ones. You see, I don't use these, but I like the red ones, Granule. They're great. The 2 red ones that you're just posting. How do I do this? How do I fill my own chat? Okay. Let me see. By the way, all of you who watch this on replay, make sure to watch the here, these double. That's good, Grandel. I love it. Make sure to click on the live chat replay, or you will miss some of the best comments. And my biggest, what's most important to me is the quality of the comments and the interaction, the quality from those people who are, you see, I'm getting a lot of wonderful information from a lot of people who you don't see online, right? Some of you choose to be online, some of you do not want to be, or be visible. And yeah, what's I going with that? That information needs to flow. Never let information be interrupted. If a channel like Crime and Shame gives you information you can use, watch it. If they put on somebody like Durwood, don't watch it. Let nobody interrupt your flow. It's very simple. Don't support any material that is counterproductive to what we do. Don't assume that a channel is going to do for you what we can do for ourselves, right? Never assume that. Never be somebody who sits there and says, oh, I hope they're going to get to something good. No, shut it. I rather miss important information that will come to me one way or the other anyways, than wasting and supporting something that I shouldn't pay attention to, right? And you saw just now, I showed you the types of people that are in there. The types of people that make excuses for Janie. They attack Belinda and her daughter. And they have a little group going that supports each other in the disinformation, right? They feel a sense of family. They feel protected. They feel strong. On their own, they're little cowards. And many of them were here before. And they didn't like the lack of attention they were getting here, because I give attention to the people who provide, inspire, who have good energy, and so on. That's what I pay attention. That's a magnet to me. I overlook the garbage. And I've been doing so for a very, very long time, right? People saying you should watch that video of Sebastian, Texas Roadhouse. Sebastian is looking at somebody. Oh my God, look at that. Remember when Nick from At Night, so-called agency, stated, we have brand new technology, satellite technology from this company, and they gave me exclusive footage, and the representative from this company commented on its Twitter account, what the hell are you talking about? We're not even ready yet for these surveillances. And I thought, okay, I always knew he's full of shit, but I thought now people finally, no, the next time he brought out some more lies, people immediately ate it up. We are Green Team. We are with you, Nick. We are with At Night. We are with Dog, the bounty hunter, who doesn't even care who isn't even, he wants to, of course, be back to fame. And I used to watch his old show, and I liked it, back then, 20 years ago. But we need to be more, selective in terms of what we allow ourselves to look at. But these people, they want to waste their time. And they don't know how to differentiate between real information and misinformation. And now they say, there's no proof Sebastian ever came. Right? I know for a fact from the statements what I know from the statements from Katie Proudfoot. You see? And that's why I cannot get confused. Of course, there's always adjustments that we need to make. Dog did not even get Sheriff's name correct. Yeah, of course, Dog, the bounty hunter, doesn't even give a shit about the case. He tried with Brian Laundrie, he tried this, he tried that. His own daughter said he's desperate to... He owes a lot of money for taxes, people. $500,000, about as much as he claims to promise for the return of Sebastian Rogers he owes in taxes. Let that sink in. So yes, Chris Proudfoot is right about that part. But if you're the parent of a missing child and somebody offers you a fake amount to get your child back, would you make such a deal out of it? No, I would not. Even if I thought it was not real. I will only care about having my child back, even if somebody is lying on my behalf. So the fact that Chris Proudfoot made such a big deal out of wanting to prove that this reward money is fake shows he doesn't want Sebastian back. He doesn't want the attention, right? So we need to look at every single side, because that way we are not going to be dragged into any group. Because the moment the group think kicks in, what will happen? You will be asked to compromise your own thoughts, and that cannot happen. So the best group, I don't know if it's possible to have a group of self-thinking individuals, but that's been my goal my whole life, to somehow have an umbrella under which we can all bring real thoughts together. Back to the topic, sorry about this. According to the documents, they went to Altamar. Okay, the entire family went grocery. Okay, 1019. I told you guys that was the pressure point. I think that's when things started to go really, really, really bad. And I do believe that Lily got her black eye that night. I do believe that, because Daniel was running out of money. Daniel, let me see your comments. I stopped this. Children were failed. Yes, children were also failed. Yes, absolutely, Krista. Sorry, I don't mean to. Yes, of course, we are all humans. And I love it when these people from the so-called green, first of all, I'm team nothing. Team is not a good thing. They say, well, where's Dog right now? Dog the bounty hunter. What is he doing? Yeah, 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 yeah. Don't wake up, Snoozy. Dog is 75 years old and owes 500,000 in taxes and has his own problems. You think he's going to drive around all day looking for Sebastian? And by the way, I think Sebastian's no longer alive. But it helps when you want to get donations and when you want to have a Netflix deal and so on, to create a mystery, or America's Most Wanted, right? So I hope there's not going to be a big brand. I think Sebastian is going to turn into a huge brand, labeled to be a mystery. And 20 years from now, they're going to have another Netflix special saying, what happened to Sebastian? And a lot of people will be kept quiet with a lot of money that's being made. That's what I see. And as a matter of fact, I've gotten a lot of information from people who know more than me when it comes to that. So what I'm talking about is not just a guess, right? It's a lot more than that. And money wins in the end, usually, if not always. If not always. Money wins in the end. It doesn't mean that we have to shut our minds off. It doesn't mean that even if the case of Sebastian will never be solved and the case of Jack and Lilly may also not be solved, people, that doesn't mean that we sit there in confusion and accept whatever is brought our way and then complain about it. No, no, no. I want to know more. We know more than most people, but the more you know that you don't, right? Opal, I missed it. Mike Janey, and suddenly, what? Ripped out all the cupboards in RV. Yeah, that exactly. What was there hiding in the RV? Or what was absolutely? Why was she all of a sudden worried about renovating right now? She didn't start that before. That is absolutely a red flag. What is this shit with renovating? There might be overlaps. Mike was doing it from a no. Oh, Opal, please, no worries, no worries. I double downloaded a couple of them as well, because I was doing it actually while I was here on live, and I shut off the camera and did it pretty quick. Let me see what Kim's. Yeah, everybody's being silenced by that money. And there are also all these useful idiots who just want a little bit of attention, and they're being told by somebody they're doing great, and in reality they're being used to promote some lies. But they have nothing better to do anyways. They're looking for a purpose. And so anybody who tells them what they want to hear, they eat it up. They absolutely eat it up. But it's easier to lie to somebody than convince them and that they have been lied to. So when this gets to them, they'll say, oh, well, Mike the man, he said that oh, Jesus Christ. But some of them message me and give me information. Say, hi, I'm Green Team. You know me by my Twitter handle. Please don't tell anybody I'm sending this to you, because you said certain things that they don't like. You said things about At Night. And At Night is with us. He's Green Team. So are you anti-Green Team? I'm not pro or anti. I don't give a shit about Green Team. There is no team. There's only the truth. I don't need to take sides. Of course, I'm leaning towards certain sides. I'm, of course, very much anti-Team Proudfoot, so to speak, right? Because there is a very, very bad agenda behind it, right? The other one, on the top, there's a selfish agenda going on that is not, well, too much to explain. But of course, I am siding with certain energies, if you will, right? or intentions. You know, you cannot necessarily say this intention is good or this intention is bad. The intention can be selfish. The intention can be to mislead. The intention can be to cover up a crime, right? There are different types of intentions, and we can determine what we are up against by detecting that. Don't let the fact get in the way of a narrative. He tells the truth. We can't have that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Seriously. And these people are truly scared because they feel a sense of belonging. We are the good ones. We are Green Team. We are the good people. I don't need to say that this is about Jack and Lilly. And I would never say share this for Jack and Lilly. I have never said share my video for Jack and Lilly. I have before said, you know what? If you see people talking falsely, you can always refer to my video and share my video. Share my video with people who you think will get it and benefit, because these people are everywhere, right? Even if the majority wants to hear what they, like to hear, there are people like us in every group who get sick of it and say there must be some real information out there somewhere. And I used to feel like that. When Peter Hyatt stopped making videos, I was like, what the hell am I going to watch now? So I watched all the old Forensic Files episodes. And of course, some training material to stay up to date, but nobody was like him when it came to explaining it, right? Because what he understood, he truly understood. And he was wrong a couple of times with Sebastian. So this is not about idolizing. This is about realizing who has the right intention and actually not just goes through the training material by saying, I have to cover this now, but who actually is interested in learning also. That is a very important thing. And until the day I die, I will never stop learning and be interested in it. It's just, I don't know how to shut this off. So anyhow, now I'm yapping Sunny Star. Well, let me tell you what my ex-husband did. Okay, back to the basics. Aussie sarcasm. I don't know Aussie sarcasm. And anyways. This is cool, man, to see you guys talking to me. Yeah, I know. Take him for what it's worth. The good, the bad, the not so pretty, and the, And people can always, I take every statement by, okay, back to this. According to Brooks Murray, Mattel stayed up and she didn't know what time he came to bed. Isn't that convenient, guys? But now, okay, they're done with already Wednesday, right? I believe that's when she got her black eye. And that's why Thursday morning she didn't go to school. And they already decided if she wasn't going to go to school Thursday or Friday until the eye healed next week. I believe that's what happened, guys. And I told you before what Janie stated about that particular night. I believe that's already where something happened. That was Wednesday night. Not, of course, the next day they were seen. But I believe there was an incident. And I believe that's why they didn't go to school. They already knew on Thursday that they were not going to go to school on Friday. That was decided. Her eye had to heal. They didn't need more CPS issues. On May 1, Jack and Lilly didn't go to school. Yep, the entire family went to New Glasgow in the afternoon and were home for the evening. Now, this is interesting. Remember what Daniel, he said they went to bed around 8. And I do believe she gotten them to bed. However, Brooks Murray initially said she put Jack and Lilly to bed at 9 p.m. So she making it later, right? Why? Because they couldn't sleep. And I'll show you in a moment why I think this is what happened. Then change the time to 10 p.m. in a later statement to police. So we have a 2-hour time difference between when Daniel claimed the kids went to bed and Malaya claimed it. And it's very similar to Sebastian Rogers. I believe that going to bed, okay, Let me go real quickly through this. I come right back to it. According to Brooks Murray, Martell stayed up and she didn't know what time he came to bed. She said she heard the kids giggling, laughing, and talking to each other in the shared bedroom in the early hours of Friday, May 2. That didn't happen in the morning of Friday. It happened the night before. The kids were supposed to go to bed and sleep at 8 p.m. But she heard them giggling, laughing, and talking. That's what I believe was what started everything that led to the situation we are in right now. They wouldn't go to sleep. Same like Sebastian Rogers that night. He would not go to sleep, people. He could not sleep. He was a 15-year-old who hadn't done anything all day, just stand around with a bunch of women and children and little daughters, right? Couldn't even go bowling. A huge issue. But here, something took place, I believe, between 8 and 10. So when he said the kids were already in bed and he came in at 8, I believe that's when problems already began. Maybe Meadow woke up, maybe Meadow went to sleep, and Jack and Lilly were making some noise, some sound. Of course, later we heard the room was suddenly quiet, right? Was that after Daniel went in there and dealt with it? Because you said he had a voice that kept them quiet, right? Did I get to this? Yeah, with the picking part, right? She didn't know when he came to bed because he didn't go to bed that night. That's exactly why. This avoidance in the context that we are being presented with tells me something happened where they did not go to sleep. I believe it was around bedtime that it took place. And the giggling, laughing, and talking to each other is from experiential memory, but it's not about that morning. The night before. Something between 8 and 10. What happened in these 2 hours that they are trying to avoid addressing? What happened? So, about the blanket, huh? No, let me stick with this for a little bit and read your comments, actually, guys. I want to read what you have to say about this. I never get the chance to before I do lives. Maybe Lily was in pain. If black eye, yeah, could be. Wait, 12 p.m. is noon, right? Wait a minute. Don't tell me I missed this. Don't freaking tell me I missed this. Dude. Like, dude, for real, dude? Oh my god, dude. 12 p.m. is noon. Of course it is. Of course it is. Tracy, thank you. Well, of course what he wouldn't flick the light on noon. 8. Does he not know the difference between AM and PM when it comes to 12? 0 military time? Does he not know? Or is there more to it? Good question, Kim. How long have I been on now? Wow. Holy crap. Oh, okay. I reconnected, right? So it's a total of 2 hours almost. He does say 12 p.m. I just realized that. You see, because in our minds, of course, we conclude, well, he meant, well, we all know what he meant. No, but that's not what he said. And of course, in another comment, he told us light switch was right there at the door. Why did he tell us that? Because he didn't want us to know he was in that room. Something happened in there. Suddenly the room was quiet. Remember what Malaya said? Suddenly the room was quiet. First of all, a room doesn't go quiet. A room doesn't talk. Suddenly the kids were without a voice. They were giggling, laughing, and talking to each other that evening. And they didn't stop. Why did Daniel go in the house around 8 or so? He feels the need to tell us because it was getting dark. He was in there because he realized the kids would not shut up. Did Malaya tell him? Did he hear them from the outside and say, I'm going in there and I'm going to make sure these kids will shut up right now? That's what I believe took place. And that's what that's how I believe my analysis to be interpreted. Everything that they tell you is from experiential memory, unless there are strong indicators otherwise. Something sifts in there the whole time. Yes, I am firetown@gmail.com. Yeah, in the membership section, I'm putting the Harrow, the Emmanuel Harrow stuff right now, and I'm over-explaining in there. Anything Daniel and Malay, and I say Daniel related right now because that's who I'm looking at, guys. I believe Jack and Lilly are gone, and the answers are going through Daniel. Through Daniel, we will find Jack and Lilly. And I'm 100% on that. No matter what anybody else concludes about what it's supposed, And they're listening to me. They're trying to do something that I haven't done, and then they go in a different direction to get some attention. I don't see any reason for me to believe that Malaya being seen in the driveway has anything to do with Malaya being the one who hurt Jack and Lilly. I have no reason to believe that. I believe it came to Janie because Janie was watching through the window. She was anticipating police. She was hiding from them, and they made sure that Malaya would be out there. And the only one in their eyes, hopefully, who has to talk to law enforcement. So she vividly remembers Malaya standing there in the driveway with Meadow on her right hip. How detailed can this be? How many avoidances have there been with Janie? But certain things they remember. And what about the 12 minutes? It was 26 minutes before the RCMP got there. Why is Daniel hung up on 12 minutes? What happened 12 minutes before? Let me read your comments now, guys, because I don't want you... I missed this, Margaret, sorry. But I think now I got my point across, guys. That was a major point that I wanted to make about what happened that night. But I will read the comments now. I grew up taken away by CPS 2 times, along with siblings, alcohol and drugs after parents. I lived in fear all my life until 16 finally, yeah. And I need to tell you guys, I hear a lot of horror stories about CPS or about certain foster families. Yeah, Justin may be the first one to tell us what happens. Because Justin seems to be the only one with a conscience who actually really cried. And I believe Belinda when she said, while Daniel had his fake tears, Justin had real tears running down his face that morning. And I believe the reason is because he saw the aftermath of what took place. I do believe that. I believe he doesn't even have the energy to lie or go along with anything. Of course, he doesn't want to rat on his family, but I believe that he knows that he would not be capable to be on camera and spew a bunch of horse shit. Because he does have certain real feelings attached to what happened to Jack and Lilly, and he knows what happened to Jack and Lilly. That's what I believe, guys. Give me 1 second. I want to see if I skipped something. If somebody messaged me something, I'm always interested in hearing what, some want to be private. Others, hey, thank you so much for just being open in chat. And if the person hearing it now, I'm reading something, guys. Give me 1 second, okay? What the hell is this? Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the rest of this statement. Because there's one part that I hadn't gotten to yet. Oh, shut up. Okay, there's one part I had not yet gotten to, guys. And that has to do with the trash. Remember when Janie talked about telling Daniel not to make the trash too heavy? So I'm going to go through this. In the chaotic hours, blah, 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 loved ones from all, blah, 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 blah. Around 4 p.m., relatives of Brooks Murray came out of the woods saying they had found a pink blanket. In the chaotic hours that followed. So that would have been on the 2nd, right? Wait. This is about May 2nd. Of course, she was fading in and out of sleep. But when she heard silence, now I don't know if these are the words that she used. I hear silence. What does it tell you when somebody says, I heard silence? Versus, I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear my kids. I couldn't hear my kids. I heard silence. Interesting choice of words, right, people? Very interesting choice of words. That's exactly what she heard. And she told us in the interview, suddenly the room went quiet. That's also avoidance. She avoided telling us she couldn't hear her children. The room went quiet. A room doesn't go quiet. A room doesn't talk. A room talks as much as Janie's dog talks. So when she says the chaotic hours, and by the way, it is because of all the confusion out there. In the chaotic hours that followed, an extensive search ensued with more than 100 trained volunteers combating the woods, accompanied blah, 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 blah. That would be May 2nd, right? So when did they find the blanket? Loved ones from around 4 p.m. That would have to be on the 2nd and not on, that would be on Friday and not Saturday, right? Relatives of Brooks Murray came out of the woods saying they had found a pink blanket down the road from the children's home. The blanket was seized by RCMP and photographs were taken. Now, didn't Logan stayed. The blanket, Daniel knew nothing about the blanket because he was in the woods, and then he came back when Malaya had already left the property. That would have been on the 3rd, right? Can somebody clarify that? I'm going to go through this because I want to get to it and get done with it. But please, anybody listening on replay, make sure to open the live chat replay as well. You're going to be able to see the answers that I don't necessarily get to, because this is a lot for us to get to, because there is so much misinformation out there. And I see it's even worse on Facebook, that I want a clear answer. According to the documents, the police dog walked for about 1 kilometer in the area and did not pick up a scent. I still believe the wind blew it somewhere. That's why there was no scent. Another piece of blanket was seized from a garbage bag in a bin at the end of the family's driveway, Martel tells CBC. It was the same blanket, but had been ripped apart. The same blanket. Brooks Murray told police it was Lily's LOL doll blanket that she had sometimes dragged around with her. That Lily took with her sometimes, okay. But she had decided she no longer wanted. Martel had been using it to stop a draft around the door, according to her statement. Malaya took the blanket from the door because the weather was getting nicer about a week. Isn't that convenient? A week before, right? In other words, it wasn't used the night before. That is what their intention is, to keep us from looking at the night before. It was a week before, and she threw it in the garbage. Who threw it in the garbage? Remember what Janie said? I knew it was a week before. For sure. Because I stood right next to him to make sure that he doesn't overload the garbage. Let me see if I'm missing some here. I want to see what these people are. They are so late in the game, and they're looking for this information I already covered. Oh my goodness, people. Where is that? Remember that, right? From Janie. It was in one of my videos. I already talked about it. And I want to find it right now, before somebody misinterprets it. Janie, where are you? Janie. Give me a second, guys. I'm almost there. No, can't see. I do think I want to go back to a couple of Daniel things. But then again, what we also have is something from Jordan Geddes.
Yeah, but that's their opinion.
So I'm not going to redo just because so-called creators want to find it somewhere and cover what I've already covered anyways. I like to move it along for the people who watch enough times and on a regular basis. So if somebody asks you a question, you know, those of you that know, just send it. If anybody has that video, you can send it or make a comment. Now, I don't know if this is okay, I want to get back to this here. I took the blanket from the door because the weather was getting nicer about a week before, and she threw it in the garbage. She threw it, the document said. What did Janie tell us? That was, I believe, in the TV interview, right? Or was it? No. No. I remember it was also on this British underwater thing. I remember now. That's where it was, guys. Underwater Adventures Underwater UK. That's where I gotten it from. It was somewhere around there where Janie actually said it. Darren Geddes, Derwood O'Grady, Darren Geddes, oh, blah, blah, blah. Holy crap. Cousin Logan. Oh, what am I looking at here? Janie McKenzie voice messages. It was somewhere around there.
They more or less can't do anything about it because they're on public property, or they're on public property. If they step foot on leaders, advise me not to speak to anybody.
Ah,
Captain Ion by.
I don't
I'm
know.
not there, as I told the reporter. Bugs and worms.
Ah, where does she talk about the blanket? You see, you remember this, guys, right? It was somewhere in this one. Janie voice messages Daniel Martell's mother. It was on Adventures Underwater UK. And she said very clearly, Daniel threw the blanket away a week before. That was her claim. Every time these people cannot agree on a timeline or anything else, that is a sensitivity right there. And chances are that while they agreed on the basics of a script, there are many occasions where they filled in their own blanks because they hadn't thoroughly discussed what they were going to say in every single situation that may come up, and how they will answer to any question that may be raised. They were not sure. Did she say to him, the kids I cannot hear? You know, there are certain discrepancies. And that's when we realize, A, they're doing a script, and B, they don't remember exactly what they were supposed to say. And I know I don't have a timestamp right now. If anybody remembers the approximate timestamp here. Her daughter, outbox, yeah, well, yeah. Daniel showed us in the interview, right? This is a dumpster, this is where it happened, this is where it was thrown away. Yeah, to an idiot who has nothing better to do, it matters how much a dumpster weighs, a trash can weighs. To somebody who wants to, you know, I'm happy I don't understand these types of people. What do they say? Great people talk about ideas. Mediocre people talk about stuff. And, you know, others, they worry about people, managing people, having control over people, micromanaging, talking about what other people do wrong, and so on and so on. And I'm dreaming of a world where information flows. Anyways, dingbat. Zach, I missed that comment. You're being replied to. I'm trying to find it. OJ. So maybe, yeah. A lot of misinformation, right, people?
I had my granddaughter down digging worms for the chickens. Thing to me while I'm in my yard. That's how scared I am.
Fuck off.
But I think it was Corey Haley's boyfriend came and took her. She did not want to leave. But Corey, they're the only two that could talk to each other and sort that out. I can't. I'm only telling you what Sunny has said on her. And then when my two oldest grandchildren would come down,
Now she's crying. No. We don't care about your.
see them.
We don't care about that.
I said, I'm not sure. Started accusations.
Oh my God.
I don't. The only thing I can tell you about that is I had nothing to do with that Jack and Lily's disappearing.
I had nothing to do with that. Jack and Lily's disappearance. The sentence makes no sense, right? What do? We reduce it until the last word before it stops making sense. I had nothing to do with that. And she stops herself and she changes it. She forces herself not to continue. And inserts with Jack and Lily's disappearance to keep it neutral, not revealing what she actually knows did happen.
I know Daniel did not have anything to do with.
Nope, that's not the same. If you say Daniel had nothing to do with it, that's strong. When you say I know, make it about you. It's sort of like my truth is. If you say Daniel had nothing to do with this, that is very strong. This is not. Every time a denial, be it about yourself or somebody else, is not strong, guess what? There's a reason. If I asked you, do you think your brother killed his wife? Imagine me asking you this. What would your answer be? What would you answer if you, well, first of all, you may not know, right? But through the statement, your actual belief will come through. What you really think will be expressed. Or let's say your brother and his wife live in your house and you know exactly what happened. Did your brother kill his wife? I know he didn't. You would say no, he did not. He was with me in the garage helping me fix my car. And when we, something like that, you would, if you really know, you don't have to tell us that you know.
Jack and Lily's disappearance. The reason I know that, I know in my heart.
And the reason, feeling a need to even explain why she knows, also tells us that. That
Daniel would not harm those children.
Those children.
The answer relies with Malaya. She hasn't spoke up.
And when the accusation is so much worse, and she says harm, that's minimizing. And she's minimizing that for a reason. And she wouldn't minimize it if it was Malaya who had done something, because she doesn't like Malaya.
She hasn't come and she hasn't said anything about all this. That's all I have to say. The rest of the answers to all your questions rely with Malaya.
Rely with Malaya?
Opinion on here, and this is my opinion and my opinion only. I think Sunny should watch what she says.
Shut the hell up about. I don't give a fuck about either of you.
Awful thing to say about me. Because as I said,
We don't. Oh my God.
The back burner, yes.
Okay, if we find the blanket thing, we find it. Otherwise, I don't want to hear about it from her. So anyways, you guys remember it, right? Malaya took the blanket from the door. Malaya threw it away in the garbage. Nope, Janie told us she was right there, standing there, when Daniel threw it in the garbage. That is a lie from one of them. Either Malaya is lying, Janie is lying, or How about both are lying? Because the blanket was not thrown into the garbage a week ago. It was the night before. RCMP have previously said a pink blanket that was seized in the earlier, that was 2-3 months ago, right? Where is the result? They don't want to tell people that. An impression casting of a boot print found in the nearby woods was also taken to the lab. And investigators' comment states in July 16 documented because Lilly's boot print was confirmed to be a size 11. It is consistent with the boot print located on the pipeline trail in the search area. Absolutely. So it wasn't a footprint. So why did Crime and Shame say it was a footprint? But they're telling us here it was a boot print. So which is it? Multiple loved ones, including Martell, his mother, and the children's paternal grandmother, Belinda Gray, have all told CBC they do not believe the children are in the woods. Well, they're not. That's pretty obvious, right? So, that is an inconsistency, if not a blatant lie, people. They did not throw the blanket away at that a week before that. What did I miss? There was something here about the polygraph, yeah. You know, there's a new one from this channel, and I guess it's Jordan Geddes, the son of, I don't know if I want to really listen to it, even though this may be somebody who helped Daniel at the pipeline.
Boy. Taking pictures, the RCMP showed up and said that I was in the front yard of my house where my father doesn't live no more because him and my mother were separated.
I don't know. He was on Dolly Vision. So if any of you have already listened to it and there's something interesting, could you guys send me the timestamp? Just so I don't listen to just so I can move quickly. QC is Quebec. Let me see something. One moment. Okay. Let me see. I still want that. Janie talking about the blanket thing, huh? Anybody remember? Okay, this is from 12 days ago, so I'm gonna look now through my videos from 11 days ago or 12 days ago. Let me see this. Guys, come to the chat if you want good information. And if you're watching this on replay, make sure you open mic. Also have some interesting photos we sent tonight. It's of Janie's property. You need to see. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I'm looking forward to all of it. And you know what? I don't need to get to everything when I do this, right? I'm going to the parts that are important. And again, the important thing is for me to have a network of people who know, who have the right state of mind, who want answers. Oh, okay, I'm looking at my Janie videos. Maybe I'll find some here. Oh, God.
Okay, she said she was, okay,
I was going. Okay, this is of course kind of weird to watch my own videos. But sometimes that's what I have to do. Because I put it in certain orders there on my videos where people are. You guys can hear me, right? Sometimes I put this in certain order where I kind of know where to find things. So, screenshots from some statement. It's a form of gaslighting people. Okay. You know, and that's what you're. Has she even started with any of that?
He started shooting off. I ordered them off my property.
Mm-hmm. At all about any child. I know it's lame, but I'm looking through my own video. Oh my God. I know the blanket comment was somewhere here. Janie McKenzie's head analysis. And she also talked about this Lily scream again. And of course, that's what Daniel heard in the woods, right? Yeah, right. I know I talked about the statement about the blanket was somewhere here. Okay, the anxiety of her doggy. I understand it. I understand. Oh, I want to show you something else real quick. Has nothing to do with that, but let me see. Something I saw today that puts certain things into proper perspective so we don't get desensitized by people who are not normal in terms of. This is something I saw today. In 1981, police discovered the body of a woman later known as Buckskin Girl due to the jacket she was wearing. She remained unidentified for 37 years until 2018, when an NGO submitted a long-stored blood sample for DNA analysis. The results revealed that she was Marsha Lenore Sassaman King, an Arkansas woman who had been murdered at the age of 21. Now listen to this. You see this? Remarkably, her mother was still living in the same house with the same phone number, holding out hope that her daughter might one day return. So anybody who thinks this is not normal, this is a lot more normal than leaving the property the day after you reported your children missing, or Katie Proudfoot taking a trip when Sebastian was missing. This may seem astonishing to many people, but this is in the realm of absolutely normal. And people are rarely found, hardly ever after this long time, but there have been cases where people have been found after this long. And this is the hope you hold on to. Yeah, Carla, do you know anything? I mean, if you ever watched this interview with Jordan, if you have a timestamp of anything that makes no sense that he says, any sensitivity, if he starts a sentence and then stops himself and continues it in a different manner. I'm looking for any type of sensitivity that is being expressed in these interviews. Thank you so much. Thank you, Carla. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Because if I'm doing it on the air, and I like to do these things always on the air, but no, I do it before. I prepare for this one. But last thing I want to do is bore you guys with insignificant stuff. or drag things out. But this, what I just stated, is absolutely normal. Oh, Jordan just complains. Yeah, I figured, man. I got the tone of voice from him, and then Dolly is like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa," with this Chris Proudfoot type of voice, and then Jordan is yeah, I didn't see, but I'm sure there is something in there that can be used. There is probably some leakage in there somewhere. You know what I mean? It's just hard to do both, meaning sifting through garbage and then recognizing the gold. That is the real challenge for me, right? When I have a statement right in front of me, it's a whole different story, guys. Oh my God, thank you so much for this, GSP. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. One moment. I gotta check. My green team informers are going to be scared. Is Middle River, Pictou County, Nova Scotia subject of high tide to high? No, I don't think so, right? Middle River shouldn't be subject to high tides. Wow, I gotten a lot of. I haven't had a chance to look yet at the power lines and the all the different. There's so much, guys, to get to. There's so much, but I need more information when it comes to wait. I'm still looking for the blanket thing. Ah. In case you guys are just coming in, I'm looking for stuff. As I usually do. I didn't expect so much yeah. The interviewers was 52 days missing. Let me see this. Yeah, it's all over the place, Carla. I recognize that. It's all over the place. You know why? They want to drag things out. So they don't want you to have a 5-minute interview only to the point. They want you to first watch an hour and a half of. I'm not doing it, dude. I'm watching so many things. And the better the quality of what I watch, the faster I can move. And the downside is that I don't find now where Janie talked about the trash can. I wanted to be the one that highlights it for you guys. Just how much of a discrepancy there is. I know I covered it before. Or are you trying to say this is children losing their playmates? This is me watching my own video to see where I brought up the blanket, the kids yelling, screaming. Jeez, it's not meant to be right now. Oh, holy moly. I'm missing your chat. Oh, thank you, Sunny Cycle. You said, I just opened Jordan's interview. His opening statement priority is the impact of the disappearance on his family. Daniel is his best friend. 2 priorities, his family and Daniel. I'm not surprised. Exactly. Good luck with what? Okay, guys, I don't know. I'm not going to obsess over this right now. I'll get back to it later. You know that this is very, very important. Agree on who threw the blanket away a week ago. It indicates to me that it was not thrown away a week before. Anything else that you guys can find, please send it my way. And they make rugs together. Yeah, you know what? Certain things connect people. People that do illegal stuff together, there's a deep sort of brotherhood, if you will, right? I mean, it's it's sort of a subculture where people are not going to talk to police. They have this strong agreement with each other that this is the one thing that you don't do. You don't do any of this. And so when people worry or when people are surprised and wonder, how can all these guys stay silent? I mean, that's what they do in everyday life. They have something to hide. And they come together and they protect each other and they make sure that they don't, give it away what they're doing. They want to be in this sort of, in the secret. Oh, I saw something.
Because I told him not to bag it too heavy.
Oh, baby. Yeah. Hallelujah. Synchronicity. Oh my God. Listen to this, people. 15. And yes, I'm going to play Janie's voice again. Let's hear about the blanket, okay? Let's hear the whole damn story, guys. Janie.
Court action. Just started I'm starting the process of seeing them. Because my brain is just going around here.
Yeah,
so one question at a
your poor brain, your poor body, your poor everything, Janie. We know you're suffering. And you said yourself, all because of that. That's how she referred to the disappearance of Jack and Lilly. All because of that. All, it means all. Everything about her is very important. That's all to her. That, far away distancing, that. All the important things, my grandchildren, this, because of that. The same way Logan referred to Jack and Lilly as animals, people. Trust their language, believe their language, even if it's hard for you to understand. When you see the image of little Jack drawing and being happy to draw. But this is how she viewed them. Her and Logan viewed them very similar, and Logan referred to them as animals. Trust their language, don't interpret it. You know, people will tell you, oh, she meant it. No, don't tell me how she meant it. I will analyze it, and then I will know how she meant it.
Time, if you want answers. Okay, a lady dropped posters off to me day before yesterday.
Uh-huh.
I haven't had a chance to get up to put any out, but I will definitely put them out.
Sure.
Just right now,
because you know they're not going to find the kids alive. Old bag.
Problem. So.
Yeah, you always have a little problem. I know, that's your whole life. That's your whole life. That's your whole life. Excuses like Daniel, you know, everything is a I'm going to change. I'm getting ready to invest. I'm always getting ready to do something, right?
Oh, my sister-in-law said that she would take me around to put them up just so...
We don't care. This is all bullshit, man.
he was able to do so.
You always want to be babysit your sister-in-law. Then that, remember, she told the name of some guy who's a community leader. He never came by to see me. And then he came by because somebody probably listened to it and said, listen, just go by and satisfy this old bag because she wants attention. And say, now you're too late. Where were you when I need, you know what I mean? She is a black hole of negative emotions, never to be satisfied, never, ever, ever, ever. The way this whole property looks is a reflection of the inside of her mind. This never-ending misery, no matter what goes on, people.
I do own another piece of land, but the
And listen to this.
land that I own is between my exes and my brother. It is 7 acres, and there is no water.
No water. Listen to the break. No water. Why is this important?
It's not by the ocean.
It's not by the ocean, because the ocean is where he took Jack and Lilly, and she knows it. And why does she mention it? Because her message is, don't look at my property. This is another leak, people. Of course it's not by the ocean. We looked at the map. It's 30 minutes or 20 minutes from the ocean. It's in Lansdowne. Unnecessary information. Leakage, people. Huge leakage right here. The ocean. I don't care what other people say about the mine shafts and all these things. The ocean is a reference again and again and again. And to those of you who think Daniel and his mama are playing tricks on me and trying to mislead me on purpose and giving me false leakage, No. That's all I'm going to say right now. No. I mean, I love actually, that your mind is going so far out of the box. And in some cases, I believe Katie Proudfoot may be the type of person who do that. Daniel, not capable. His mom wouldn't even understand what I'm talking about right now.
Anything. There's no brook on it. There's no...
Again, water. Again, you already told us no water. Why are you getting into such detail?
Water at all on it. So if you go to Google Maps, you will find a piece of land.
I've been on Google Maps.
And between my exes, which is Daniel and Justin's father, and my brothers.
Okay.
That would be on the Lansdowne Road, not the Lansdowne Station Road.
Oh my God. Can you imagine, and now I have to be careful how I say it because it's going to sound almost like I'm making excuses for Daniel. Can you imagine growing up with this woman? But Daniel, guess what? It's never... We need to break the cycle of abuse with our own children. And you agreed to have Jack and Lilly live with you, even if they're not your own children. You could have refused. You could have told Malaya, I don't like your children. Please find somebody else for them to live with. They could have reached out to Belinda, or maybe even her daughter, Chelsea, or somebody else. Right? You have agreed to let them stay there as well, and you have agreed to getting the government money for these kids. Okay? To make this very, very fucking clear, right? You had the choice. You could have sat down with Malaya, listen, we have a new child on the way. My mom is going insane. I don't know what to do. Is there any way that we can give the kids maybe to your grandmother or to Cody's mother, right? Let's find a solution. But he was looking for the next government check on behalf of these two children. And that was enough to feed his hobby and his escapism. Right? Let's put this all into a very clear perspective here to anybody who even states anything close to, well, he took in two children that were not his own, and he gave them a home. First of all, I don't consider this to be a home. But I've gotten these types of comments. Why are you harsh on Daniel? No, I'm being real here. Okay?
Repeat, the Lansdowne Road. And to correct Haley and whoever else The piece of blanket was found on the Lansdowne Road, not the Lansdowne Station Road. I cannot answer questions about that blanket because I was not here when it was supposed to be found. I'm just hearing where she said it was. I'm correcting her that it was the Lansdowne Road. The only time that I was here to have any part of the blanket was when the cops, RCMP, came here and asked about the blanket to Daniel. Daniel and Justin did go to the garbage. And showed the RCMP officers the rest of the blanket.
Offers. They made an offer to them. Yes, here's my offer to you. A new version of what happened. Okay? The rest of... Okay, here we go, right? After they planted it.
And I can vouch for in the garbage because I seen the day that Daniel put it in the garbage.
I seen the day that Daniel put it in the garbage. They cannot agree on that because it did not happen a week ago. And even though their script is usually good in terms of aligning, both saying the same bullshit, in this case, they cannot get the story straight who did it. Because it didn't happen the same way. It didn't happen. Did you hear the kids? Do you hear the children? Daniel said he asked Malaya. Malaya said she asked him. Why? Because that did not happen. The script does not align. It's script versus script. And the same with this. She feels the need to tell us why she knows it's been a week ago. Because it didn't happen a week ago. This is what I was just getting at, people. Because you want me to show you again? No, you remember. That article states very, very, very clearly Malaya put it into the garbage a week before.
Because I told him not to...
Again, because twice she is justifying and explaining how she supposedly knows. Over-justifying, over-explaining, over-demonstrating. Because she knows this is not credible.
I get too heavy. So Daniel did put the blanket in the garbage. I appreciate...
Again, so Daniel did put the blanket in the garbage. I appreciate...
You guys asked me if there's any...
Okay, shut up. You see, guys? One more time. One more time. Malaya took the blanket from the door because the weather was getting nicer about a week before and she threw it in the garbage, the document said. So she must have told police that, right? Brooks Murray told police it was Lily's LOL doll blanket that she had sometimes dragged around, but she never did. Okay. There was already a missing piece from it when she did that because Daniel ripped it off when he put it up. People. It's not just that they lie, but what they lie about and when they cannot get the story straight. And that's how simple it is. Okay, let me end it with one more time, Janie. Sorry, but it has to be done.
Daniel and Justin did go to the garbage and showed the RCMP officers the rest of the blanket. And I can vouch for the blanket being put in the garbage because I seen the day that Daniel put it in the garbage because I told...
The day. What day? What day was it? The day that the other piece was found in a tree? Right before Daniel called 911? Was it that day? Yes, I believe that was Daniel who did that, who put it that day into the garbage. But you see, Malaya said that in the very beginning. And that was not something that they had a chance to script together. At least not too much. That was a sudden reaction from Daniel. And Logan, she didn't even get the day correct, right? Didn't she say it was a day that Malaya left? But now we're learning it was on what makes more sense, May 2nd, on Friday. Why would they find the blanket the day after that? Why would they not be able to see it that same first day when they go through the area? Does not rip easily is right. I believe that it had to do with the 2 shirts and the blanket being used in getting rid of Jack and Lily's bodies. To wipe something off or something like that. I believe that they grabbed this blanket, they ripped it apart, it was used for something. That's why it's such a sensitive issue. Yeah, you're right, Marley. I agree with you. Oh, good night. I won't be much longer. Yes, I believe that Janie is a very stressful person, and she needs the stress in her life. I had a lot of coffee, by the way, today. That's why I'm talking fast, and that's why I'm, anyways. But still, I'm fading out right now because I finally found the important part, people. I seen the day that Daniel put it in the garbage because I
Told him not to bag it too heavy.
Yeah. Because
So Daniel did put the blanket in the garbage.
Again, oversell.
I appreciate you guys asking me if there's anything that I need. No, there's not. The only thing that I need is people to stop the rumors and accusations because it's not helping anything.
Oh my goodness. Goodbye, Janie. Oh my goodness. Hey, everybody. I'm calling it tonight. Marley, you're new. You just got here. Everybody, let me know what time is best for my lives. I'm trying to do it so as many people as possible get a chance to see it. Anybody who comes later and watches this, please be reminded, the best part about this video is the live chat, full of great information, guys.
Wake up everybody, stop sleeping. They want to charge more. Big companies are creeping into our internet. Internet's in distress, let's answer the SOS. I'm the internet, you're the internet, we're the internet, now that's the internet. I like the internet, we love the internet, and I can prove it.
Some net fairy dust made me who I am, living in an online neverland. The web's my playground, no suit allowed. Internet celebrities, let's sing it proud. I'm the internet, you're the internet, we're the internet, now that's the internet. I like the internet, we love the internet, and I can prove it. I'm the internet, you're the internet, we're the internet, now that's the internet. I like the internet, we love the internet, and I can prove it.
It's not
Looks like Durwood.
cut off circulation. Big business wants to control the net.
The Durwood rap.
What you can see, how much you should pay. Tell me, is this
the democratic way? I'm the internet.
You're the internet, we're the internet.
Well, that's the internet.
I like the internet, we love the internet, and I can prove it. I'm the internet, you're the internet, we're the internet, now that's the internet. I like the internet, we love the internet, and I can prove it.